All right, welcome everyone to the Gratitude Show. We are on episode number 21, Tiffany?
22, babe.
22. Oh, I keep on shaving off an episode on us. How could I do that? For those of you watching the first time, we come here every Thursday at 7 o'clock, and the whole premise of the show is this. We want to create an awesome place for you to come, hear about gratitude, hear inspirational people that we interview, and really just mix with like-minded people. For those of you who believe in the law of attraction, the idea of being interconnected, the idea that, you know, we're all here to help each other succeed, that's exactly the type of environment, and that's exactly what we try to create for you. Tiffany has lined up an awesome guest today. I'll let you tee that one up, Tiffany, in a second. But before that, Tiffany, what are you grateful for today?
Oh my gosh. I'm grateful, for everything in life, of course, all the time. But, this week has been really a challenging week for me, which is odd because everything usually just is perfect in my life. To the best ability of perfect to my understanding. But I'm just really grateful for just being in the moment and really seeing the lessons and everything that I'm going through. And then just like looking back at everything that's happened this year and just being present in the moment and being really appreciative and so grateful for all the blessings and then all the blessings that are to come in the future, but being in the now and being just grateful for all the blessings that are happening at this moment. So just being on this show with you. What are you grateful for, Adam?
Wow, that's awesome. Hey, one quick thing I want to say, because today, everybody that's watching, we're doing a little bit of a different mix because Tom is actually in studio with Tiffany. You know what I remember we did last week, I believe, when Victoria was on here? I think it has a different view that puts me in the corner or something, right? And then you have a bigger screen, just throwing it out there. I don't know if you recall how you did that, but then you have the full screen and just throw me in the corner so we can highlight both you. There we go. Oh, how do I do it? I'll do it on mine. And then you and Tom get a bigger screen.
Do you have the do you have the ability to do the change where it says layout?
I believe so. Just tell me where. Top left?
Where it says Smiletime, the top left.
Smile Live.
Right.
Oh, top right, it says Smile Live, and then there's oh no, that's a share button. Oh, I should not have done that. All right. Oh, let's see. Hold on. Rate my channel, AZ, browse channels, AZ. Top right.
It might be just something that I am only able to do because it's the creator thing.
Okay. I tried. So getting back to what I'm grateful for, I just thought I'd throw that in there. So I'm grateful. It's been a rocking week. Had Dave Daly today over here. It was awesome. Tiffany set that up. I'm grateful for Tiffany setting that up. And then Dave's introduced me to a podcast that I'm going to do on Monday. And it's just awesome, like to have, great friends and to be supported and to just see like how all of these things, this idea of giving and gratitude and, giving without expectation. It just, me and Dave were talking about it on the interview, and that's Monster TV and for anybody watching. And we're talking about, it's amazing. The more and more you give, the more and more gratitude you show, the more and more just kind of things you do with love. The more that comes back to you. Like I'm getting all these, it's almost to the point to where I'm like in a news article almost every day now, and it's getting pretty cool and pretty fun because, I've been working on this stuff for not that long, but it's just fun to see like the energies with all these people that I haven't met just kind of meet and match. And launched my online program this week, and it's just to see people gravitate towards it and to be able to give them that kind of financial mentoring and all these other things on mindset and, things that I've used to improve my life. So to kind of use that to help them, it's just phenomenal. So the gratitude for me, I'm normally pretty up there with the gratitude, but this week is, whoo, I was doing the monster motivator. The screen's not big enough today, but Dave had me so motivated today. It was just a blast. And then learning how to use all this other technology. Like, I'm so grateful for all this random, have you been doing the Insta stories yet? Oh man, I just learned it and it's fun.
That's something I do plan to do also.
It's fun. Just to get out there and just do random stuff and just to see all these people joining on like the Instagram and all these memes and content I've been putting out there, to see them start to follow and really participate and learn. It's just been awesome, been amazing. So the gratitude is pouring out today.
That's so awesome. And for everybody tuning in, thank you so much for tuning into us. Adam and I appreciate you more than you know. And this wouldn't be possible without the viewers and without your support. And we really appreciate it. And please feel free to leave comments. We can see them on Smiletime when you do leave them. And you can also go to the link that's posted in the Facebook Live content. It's a Smiletime link. So
got it.
Yeah.
You tagged me in that, right? And you tagged me in that, Tiffany? Yeah?
Well, I what?
You tagged me in that one? Just making sure. Okay.
I'm pretty sure I did. Here, let me share the link again. Just in case.
I'm sure you did. I'm looking. Didn't mean to throw you off.
Oh, no, you're fine. I created a Start a Fire link so that people could also go to our landing page and sign up to be updated for our.
That's awesome.
For our.
He is always on it. Grateful for that.
Well, and yeah, so, and also, I just wanted to say that the people that Adam and I mean, okay, so we started this, what, Adam, in May?
Yeah, let's call it May. I don't recall.
It didn't matter of like a minute. So it wasn't even a question. and now, so since we've worked through all the blood, the sweat, and the tears. I mean, this is our third platform. We've really, really worked hard to keep this thing going. And the quality of people that we have on our show are amazing, and they are inspirational. It's not just like some Tom, Dick, and Harry that you can find off the street. These are people that are doing inspirational things in life. They're up to great things, and they're people that Adam and I really, really, truly admire and enjoy having on our show. So just to let you know, it's not just, we have an amazing, amazing lineup. Not only is Tom Ladegaard on tonight, his wife Nicole will be on in February 2nd, but then we have Dave Daly from the Monster Motivator next week, and we've got Kevin Porter, and we have Kathleen Passmore finishing it up with December. So we have an amazing, amazing lineup.
How far out do you have us booked now?
Till the end of February.
Wow. Tiffany does not play.
Oh, I don't.
I know you don't. It's amazing. I'm grateful for that. Me and Sam were talking earlier and are texting, and he's like, "Hey, you're doing the show today, right? You're streaming." And I was like, "Yeah, I think the boss sent me a link. We're on." Sam was laughing.
Now it's like the same link every time because sometimes I forget.
It was just a funny interaction. He was laughing. He said he's the boss of rock and roll.
Yeah. Sam knows his stuff. Sam has to come on too. I know he's been on before, but it's been a while. So Sam, we got to book you again.
Absolutely.
And I just want to take a moment, Adam, if you don't mind, if there's not any other updates, maybe information or whatever, I just want to take a minute to talk about Tom and
please
kind of describe how I met him. I've obviously met him through Dave Daly, and Dave is an awesome, awesome promoter, networker, connector. Like, this guy is on fire, and he's going huge. Like, watch out, world, because this guy's awesome. Right. But I've had the opportunity to be introduced to so many amazing people, including Tom Ladegaard. He has what he's doing, like, not only has this guy overcome, like, he's got a wife and kids and stuff. He's got, his attorney job, which he's super brilliant. And, but the fact is he wants to spend more time with his family. Who doesn't? And he has created such an amazing service, and it's eternalroots.com. I'll go ahead and type it in once he gets on. But I'm so excited because he's doing my story on the 17th and 18th for breaking it up into chunks, where he actually sits down with you and interviews you and makes it into a book, makes it into a DVD, a video. So it's shareable. It's shareable with your family. It's priceless. I mean,
oh, wow.
And I just can't even explain how cool and how what's that word? Not intricate, but how,
what a valued service. I mean, it's amazing. It's an heirloom.
Adam.
Amazing.
I don't know. Well, valuable. I'll think of it in a minute when I'm not thinking, but that usually works. But
I'm throwing awesomeness.
This guy is super, super cool, and he makes it to where you're really comfortable to talk about the skeletons in your closet. I mean, you know me. I'm all about sharing it. I don't hold anything back. I mean, I'll keep it PG-13 for the appropriate stuff, but you know me when it comes to spilling it all out. And he has a really, really good way, a really valuable way of just putting it all together and putting it into perspective. And he takes a lot of time, but he takes it to heart. And I love that about him. So I'm so happy. I'm so grateful that he is able to even be a part of our show tonight. And excuse me, thank you everybody else for tuning in. I see our comments. Adam, can you read them? Because my computer screen's kind of far.
Mary says family should always be priceless and number one. I think that's awesome. I just typed in, I agree.
Who is that from?
That's from Mary T.
Oh, my Annie. Hi, Annie.
Awesome.
Yes. So if you guys don't mind, and Adam, if you have nothing else, I'm going to go ahead and introduce the famous Tom Ladegaard.
Let's do it.
And I even made a sign for him in the background.
Awesome. Get it?
So Tom, if you wouldn't mind coming on, go ahead and take a seat.
All right.
I'm going to be popping in and out of the window because I don't want to take a spotlight. So.
Oh, this is good. Hold on. Let's do a test run. Awesome. Hey, Tom, how are you?
You're wonderful. Before you say anything about me, I want to tell you, you did a great job on Dave's show. I was there on real time.
Very kind. Thank you very much. I appreciate it, Dave. Move it out. Great stuff. So who's going to start with, if you can start with, I believe, Tiffany, you want to start with your story, Tom? Is that right? Oh,
Yeah, I would love to share my story. So I've been practicing litigation for 13 years. I've taken about 100 depositions, and that's where I examine witnesses under oath and get their testimony and sometimes by videotape. And about almost a year ago, I decided to interview my 96-year-old grandfather. And
you said 96.
96, yeah. He's still sharp as a tack. He still has it.
That's amazing.
I went to his house and I set up my video camera and just recorded his life story. And it was a really cool experience. And I could see from him that there was a palpable sense of relief when we were done. I could see that he took some value from going through the process. I could see he looked relieved that he got a story out there. And I learned a ton about him that I didn't know.
Wow.
Yeah, a lot of stuff about him I didn't know about because he's always focused on me. So I tried to focus on him, and I think he appreciated that. And so when I was home trying to figure out how to edit this thing, I realized I had a whole CD worth of photos from his 90th birthday.
Wow.
I realized I had photos that corresponded with the stories he was telling, and I learned how to drop the photos in. And I faded the photos in as he was sharing certain stories, and it brought his stories to life, and it really gave an emotional impact. I did that throughout the whole disc, and so I was really proud of what I made there. Then a light bulb went off, and I realized maybe I can transcribe this and just see what it looks like. So I started typing it, and I dropped the same photos in the same place. I got it printed on high-quality paper and got it published in a hardbound book. And I shared this on social media. It got a big response, and I realized one day driving home that this is a service I could offer to the public. And so looking for a business, it just hit me. It was like it just entered my ear, and I just decided on the spot I'm going to do this.
Wow.
We launched Eternal Roots on April 1st of this year, and for a couple months there, I was a little bit afraid to really promote this thing because I was afraid of success. I was afraid of getting overwhelmed, and now I'm just going full bore.
Wow, that's exciting. And it's really interesting if you think about like as a business model, just in general. I mean, we do have an aging population, and that, you know, a bit of history that could potentially be lost without such a service. So it's really like I'm just thinking about myself. My grandfather, he passed at, I believe, 95. Grandma 94, I believe. They were basically a year apart. And, you know, we tried to get stuff together. We tried to kind of, you know, we had tons of pictures, tons of stuff, but I don't think we ever quite accomplished, because what you're describing takes quite a bit of time. And it also takes, you know, the person getting the story has to, like, you're a litigator, you know what you're doing in terms of getting stories out of what questions to ask and how to do. So there's a certain expertise that you bring to the table that just anybody can't do, to get the actual story that's going to be interesting, compelling, and also represent them in the manner that they want to be represented and remembered by. So when I couple all of those things, it becomes super interesting for your business model, in my opinion.
I appreciate that. I'm gratified when people just get it and it clicks and they understand the value of what I'm doing. And, you know, a year before I did this, I had a road trip with my dad, and I learned all sorts of stuff with my dad way before I hatched this concept. But during this trip, I had this little feeling of sadness, and I was incomplete. Like, I don't know how much of this I'm going to remember. I need to preserve this in a permanent medium somehow. And so I've since discovered this, and I interviewed my dad this fall. And I got his interview on my computer at home too. So I'm in the middle of editing that and dropping videos there.
Wow.
So, I appreciate the kind words. And this process is constantly evolving.
Yeah.
And I started off thinking DVD, and you know, I might as well be hawking cassette tapes. So the DVDs are on the way out, and somebody told me that she doesn't even own a DVD player. Tiffany doesn't own a DVD player.
Thumb drive, right?
So here is the new wave.
Yeah, I knew it. Thumb drive right there. That's awesome.
Here we go. So I made these beautiful wooden book flash drives.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And so this is my default. I'm going to make DVDs optional, and the flash drives are the future, because you can take this thing, plug it into your computer, plug it into your...
Laptops don't even have DVD drives anymore.
Yeah, that's true. Like the computer one right now does not have an optical
Mine
drive.
doesn't. No way.
You can throw this on YouTube, throw it on your website. I don't care. It's yours. Do whatever you want with it.
And that's really cool, because it's a completely different, well, the value of it, it's not, in terms of your market, it's not just people that, you know, want to write books. If you do that just for your family, so your history's not lost, I mean, what a service. Imagine now, and now that you did that for your grandfather, you know, I don't know if you have children. Two. Okay, awesome. So they can see that now as they get older, and you know, their children will now be able to see that. So hey, what was your great granddad like? And it's like, well, let's pop in the thumb drive or whatever it is at that point. Let's get the old family YouTube channel running. Come on, put it in the Google, because the Google will be there still. It's gonna outlive us all.
When I made the book, I was thinking of my mom, because different people interact with information in different ways. Some people might want a digital, but my mom, she's totally turned off by digital. She wants a book. She wants something tangible in her hands.
Yeah.
So I actually made the book kind of with her in mind.
Yeah.
And I don't have it with me right now. It's in my car.
Yeah.
The book is gorgeous.
Awesome.
Yeah. On the video I did with Shane the other night, I was flipping through it up on the screen. But the book is showcased on my website, so you can see it there.
Wow.
Okay, so listen, I'm super excited, you guys, and Adam, I don't know if you know, but Tom and Nicole just got back from Vegas this weekend.
What?
Got the opportunity to see Tony Robbins.
Oh, that's awesome.
Richard Branson, to see these amazing, awesome people and get really inspired. And I was wanting Tom to share something that he's been waiting to share. So if you don't mind, you can take it away. I'm going to respond back to some comments while you're doing that.
Okay. Well, you know, I'm not going to sit here and just read my notes to you guys, because nothing can replicate the magic of being in the room with Tony Robbins.
Absolutely.
We were in a room with 16,000 people. I mean, Tony was like, you know, a blur. He was so far away. We had screens everywhere. So I was really just watching the screen. But that guy brought so much power and energy into the room, and he just lit that room on fire. And, you know, there are aspects of his presentation that frankly were a little uncomfortable for me, because he brings so much energy. He just like gets the crowd jumping. And, you know, for me, I don't go from 1 to 10 immediately. You know, I need to warm up a little bit.
Yeah.
And so there are times where it was like awkward for me. Like I just want to stick my pen and take notes.
And he's like, no, get up, get fired up.
Half the time, just like screaming. I mean, because his thesis is that when you bring your energy level up, you increase your vibrations, and when you're at a higher energy state, you're more attractive to people, and you can connect with people better when you're in a higher energy state. So that's
why I argue to work out in the morning. Other than the other biological factors of you know, metabolism, I just say I want my energy as high as possible, so I'm attracting people to me that also have a high vibration.
Yeah.
Not to cut you off, continue. I just throw that in there.
Yeah, it's doing exercises. It's almost like you're in church. You know, when you're in church, and they say, okay, say hello to everyone around you.
Yeah.
He kind of had to do that, but he had to do it at extremes. And so one exercise he did with us, I actually thought this was kind of fun. Okay, so the 6 people around you, spend 2 minutes introducing yourself, but be really rude and act like you don't want to talk to them. And so, you know, that part was really awkward because, like,
give me an example. Do it. Come on, Tom. Do it.
What's up?
Some people represent themselves like that, though.
And then when they do, you want nothing to do with those people, you know, because you're not attracted to that. You're repelled by that. But he had us do that, and it was just a horrible feeling. And then we did another one where you're acting like shy. I'm not sure myself. I'm not sure you. So we did that for a little bit, and you can feel, you know, your mood dropping. And then he said, okay, you know, act like this is a long lost friend. And then he's talking like, what muscles in your face are you using? What are you doing with your body? And then as we started going up the spectrum, there's more and more muscle and activity being used. So then we're like hugging each other. And I found like, oh, I'm in a good mood. This is kind of cool. I'm hugging all these random people, and it was cool. And then he just like took it to 11 and said, okay, now just act like, you know, this person is like your long lost relative and you haven't seen him for 20 years. And just, he had us kind of ham it up a little bit. But you know what? We were hugging each other.
Give me that one. Come on, Tom.
I was like grabbing people, lifting them off the ground, and air hugging them. And it was awesome. Like, it was just a big 16,000 person love fest.
Wow.
But you know what? Like, when I was done, I was like, whoa, I feel awesome.
You're probably tingly, huh? Like, it was like, ooh.
Yeah, I feel the same way, just reenacting.
Yeah.
I'm hugging space here. So that was an exercise we did that I really dug. But some of the other stuff I learned from Tony, I'm going to kind of work in, because I got some deep stuff I want to get into with you guys tonight. Okay, so I'm not going to just do like a Tony section. I'm gonna blend Tony in, and so this is the gratitude show, and I'm not gonna. I told Tiffany this for the first time we talked. I'm not coming in here and acting like I'm the personal development professor. I'm not going to hold myself out as a gratitude guru. I'm none of these things. And so I've been doing PD for a few years. I'll call it PD, okay? I talk in acronyms. But gratitude really hasn't been on my diet. You know, that hasn't really been in my reading list. And I don't know, maybe I thought it was just kind of new agey. And so when Dave Daly first hooked me up with Tiffany, and before we talked, before we met, she sent me an email saying, great, I do the gratitude show. Here's the subject matter we cover. Here's the questions we're going to ask you. And I saw the G word popping up over and over and over again. And so I was kind of like, oh.
Gratitude Central, Tom.
I felt exposed. And so, but I committed, I'm doing this. And so I'm a lawyer. So what I do is I just figure things out. And so I had a month to prepare myself mentally. But now I'm going to go back into Tony mode. One thing I learned from Tony is that our brains are 2 million years old. And so our brains are not hardwired for gratitude or positivity. They're hardwired for negativity and survival. So our distant ancestors, they're scanning the horizon. They're not looking for beauty. They're looking for threats. They're looking for their next meal, and they're looking to make sure they don't become something else's meal. So our ancestors, that's how our brains are wired, is looking for negative. And now in modern society, we're looking for things to just be critical of. And that's our physiology. That's our resting default state. So when you're in autopilot, your brain is like a radar scanning for negative. That's just how we are. So if you just let your brain coast, that's what you're pulling in. That's why so many people watch trashy TV.
No lazy brains. No lazy brains here.
Well, and so what he said was for gratitude or for seeing beauty in the world, you have to work at it. It's muscle. You have to exercise that muscle. And then you do it enough, then you start seeing gratitude more often. So the radar, it starts picking up beauty. It starts picking up things that you can be grateful for. So it's picking up positive things, but it takes work. And most people, myself included, are not naturally inclined that way. And so going back to myself now, when Dave first told me about this and I first talked to Tiffany, I was a little scared. And so what I decided to do was, for the next month, I had to get ready mentally for this. I just started thinking about, what am I grateful for? I started scanning. What's positive in the world? What am I grateful for? What might I say? And you know, I gotta say that in the last month, just by having gratitude in the forefront of my mind, or if I got some idle time, I'm just kind of meditating on the subject, I started noticing those things. And I started feeling more grateful because it was becoming a habit. I was working out that muscle. Before, it was totally atrophied. There was nothing there. And so, now it's
like the little gratitude muscle was just
right,
like,
it's building up. And so just the experience of preparing to go on this show really helped me become more of a grateful person.
Awesome.
I think my wife would attest, like things are changing around our house. I mean, both of our levels were like, we're getting elevated. My wife posted a video this morning talking about her own gratitude.
Wow.
Yeah, it's cool. So we're both kind of in.
I like that video. I remember now.
That was this morning.
Yeah, that was this morning.
Yeah. In fact, I think I tagged you in it.
Yeah, that's why I remember it. I'm like, wait a minute, now I remember. Yeah.
Just felt inspired in the moment to do that. So,
awesome.
So I want to talk about, that's what we're here for, talk about what we're grateful for. But I'm not going to, just rattle through material things or just, routine things and put everyone to sleep. I want to get deep. Is it cool with you if we get deep here?
Absolutely. And I'll tell you what, so you are actually our dream realized, mine and Tiffany's dream realized. So the goal of this is not to have 1 million viewers. The goal of this is to have 1 million people doing the exact same thing. And your wife and yourself are a testament to it. Because if we're going to reach more people, this isn't about us having all these people watching. It's about how does everybody do a Facebook Live talking about gratitude constantly, because we're bombarded by media and other things constantly. So what your wife did is actually our dream realized. I think Tiffany would attest to that.
Absolutely.
And I've come to realize that the law of attraction, it's a real thing. It's real.
Yes, it is.
It's real. And in the last month, it's not some new age mumbo jumbo, okay? And if you think it is, I'm sorry. In the last month since I've done Dave's show, I've been introduced to new people and new opportunities and new platforms. And I'm attracting awesome people into my life. And then, some people have exited. 10 times as many have come in.
Huh?
So, okay, goodbye and hello. It's been a really cool thing. I'm watching the law of attraction in real time happening, and it's like, wow, this is real. So that's super exciting.
Yes.
Okay, so I was thinking about what am I grateful for? I could talk about a lot of things, but I wanted to go as profound as I could. So I thought, what's the most irreducible, profound thing I could say I'm grateful for? And then I'm going to give you a little story here about how this occurred to me. So about 3 weeks ago, I had a really bad morning, and I woke up on the wrong side of bed, and I made this stupid error of clicking on something that turned into a political article that I read, and now I'm feeling tense and angry and despair. And I'm going on a news diet, by the way. I was a communications major, and so I was a news junkie, news addict. And post-election, I've decided, especially when I'm working on this project, I found when I'm reading the news, I just get in a bad mood, and I feel helpless and I feel angry. So I'm giving myself I've gone cold turkey. I don't read the news. I do not do it.
I haven't had a TV in my house, Tom, for over 11 years now. Laptop is the only screen. I realized in college, I was like, TV, all this. I said, these people have been programming my whole life. I want to produce content and things that uplift. Forget taking in that negativity. I love what you're saying.
But you have the internet, don't you?
Absolutely.
You can click on news websites. I go to the Yahoo landing page, access my email, and it's just Trump, 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 Trump.
Mm-hmm.
And, I feel my energy levels dropping real quick. So anyway, I woke up this morning, and not this morning, a few weeks ago, I was just in a bad state. I read news, and I was like, I was just kind of pissed off. And then I was dwelling on a relationship that had gone sour. So there was somebody who I was really close with, and I felt like he did me wrong. Like he took advantage of my goodwill, and I was really upset, and it had been eating at me. Because when you harbor anger, it just eats at you.
Yeah.
This has been happening for a while. And that morning, maybe it's because I started the day reading about politics. That was just, it was getting to me. So the whole train ride downtown, I take the train downtown.
Okay.
I was stewing in this and getting more and more angry. I got off the train. I was like, I'm in such a bad mood. I don't like this. I don't want to be in this state. I'm going to the gratitude show and I'm pissed off. And I thought, okay, what do I do about this? Okay, I need to start thinking about gratitude. Okay, what am I grateful for? I've got a beautiful wife. I've got 2 beautiful, wonderful children. I've got a roof over my head. And okay, yeah, that helps. Nope, still pissed off. I'm still pissed off. I had to go deeper.
Yeah.
So I thought, okay, well, how do I get any deeper than that? What am I more grateful for than those things? I thought, okay, well, I'm alive.
Yeah.
I've got a beating heart. My lungs are drawing in air. I'm conscious. I'm alive. And, you know, in 5 years, am I going to care or remember this thing that's pissing me off? Probably not. So maybe I shouldn't think about it more than 5 minutes. And then, so I kind of felt it like leave my pores. I felt the negative feelings kind of dissipate away, and I was able to go about my day. So number 1 is just be grateful for being alive. Because if you can't be grateful for being alive, you can't really be grateful for anything else. It's kind of like you can't love somebody else unless you love yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, be grateful for your pulse. Because if you're not grateful for that, you're not going to be grateful for anything else.
Not guaranteed.
And then another thing I'm really grateful for lately is just all these new relationships I've been getting, these new connections, new opportunities. I got all sorts of people telling me they want me to record their life story.
Wow.
Yeah, people are popping up all over the place, and I'm so grateful for that. And I'm so grateful for the new relationships I'm forging. And, you know, getting an opportunity to come on your show, and I was on Shane's show a couple days ago and Dave's show a month ago. So I'm really grateful for all these opportunities. I don't take any of this for granted. I don't feel entitled to any of this stuff. I'm really grateful for all of this. But also, I'm grateful for people I knew previously in my life, because a lot of people I knew before are coming forward, expressing their support to me. And that means the world. You know, look, I'm doing this with you or without you. You know, if you don't believe in what I'm doing or you don't support it, I'm doing it anyways. But people come forward and say, I support you, what you're doing is so meaningful, this is great. You know, that lifts me up. And that, it makes me want to just go and be successful. First of all, to the few haters I have, I want to be successful, because that's kind of revenge, is to be successful. But really, I want to do right by the people who are rooting for me. And so then there's another issue I want to discuss. And this is, I want to get a little philosophical here, and I want some input from both of you.
Get in there. We like philosophy. Come on, Tiffany.
Okay, so I feel like there's a tension, and there's maybe a little bit of a risk in the gratitude context. What if you can use gratitude as an excuse for complacency? In other words, my life kind of sucks. Okay, let's find ways that my life is things I'm grateful for. Okay, maybe my life doesn't suck so much, so therefore I'm not going to change anything. So in other words, if you're in a rut, I'm going to decorate the rut. Now, if you're in a rut, you need to get out of the rut. And so I don't think people should use gratitude as a means of reinforcing where they are in their life. I think you can still be grateful for what you've got, but be hungry for more. In other words, I want to bring more abundance into my life so my gratitude can exponentially multiply. I don't know if you guys have ever thought about that before.
So for myself, the two concepts that I think you're mixing two different concepts. I don't necessarily think they're related. And I'll give you my input on that. If we believe in the premise or from the beginning that in the law of attraction, if we agree on that point, then in my opinion, when you lead with gratitude, things just happen. You attract things. So for example, I'll give you my story. I don't know if Tiffany's ever shared it with you, but my story was, I wasn't doing any of this. I mean, literally none of this. What I started with gratitude is it was just among some friends that we used to do a text. We do text messages, and this is even going back to like BlackBerry, and we just say, hey, what are you grateful for today? Hey, what's going on good in your life? Fast forward to Periscope. Periscope came out, and a lot of my friends that we used to do that with, it just fell off. Let's just say one of those things you start that doesn't, continue. And all I did was flip the switch on Periscope, and I would just literally say what I'm grateful for. And then other people came on and said what they're grateful for. I wasn't necessarily in let's say a bad place in my life. I wasn't necessarily looking for that next like shooting star either. But what happened is I just started receiving all this encouragement. Then people started coming out of woodworks telling me, you know, go on YouTube and then do this and do that. And all of these people were brought into my life. And the interesting thing is, so I'm from a traditional background, a finance background, other things like that. I mean, you could call it, I'm more animated than most, but it can be considered a pretty plain background. Like some people may say the law profession could be kind of a vanilla background, depending on what you do. And really, by leading with gratitude, the law of attraction kicked in, everything spiraled. Fast forward, you know, let's call it 2 years later, I started my own firm, the book, all these other things just spiraled. I'm not saying that you don't do the work. All I'm saying is that gratitude is about changing your energy so that you can attract more good in your life. If you want to be, and I know you use the word complacent, if it's your moment in time to where you're actually just supposed to be where you're at, that's okay. It might not be time for you to ramp up and take it to the next level. Maybe you haven't attracted the right mentor or the right idea. Like how you mentioned, you just got your idea. Doesn't mean you were complacent in your life because you weren't starting this business. It just means that you happen to have just been given this idea and attracted it through a great, intimate, amazing experience you had with your grandfather. And so that was the inspiration. So I wouldn't say that we necessarily have to say somebody's complacent because they're leading with gratitude, even if they're grateful with what they have. And it's maybe something that other people may think is not enough. To them, it may be enough if they're happy with that. I mean, complicating life with money. I know lots of people with money that aren't happy, and I know lots that are happy. So it's just like, you know, two different things in my opinion.
It's just, you know, that I stopped taking action because everything's so awesome. So I stopped striving for more. And so what I'm getting at is that you can be grateful, but still want more abundance in your life.
Sure.
More things to be grateful for.
Absolutely. And so I agree. You can have both. There's no, or you can have, you know, either or. I mean, to me, it's just saying, how do we get that extra level of fulfillment? And I think that the danger in combining the two is that, you know, you may focus on the achievement part more than the gratitude part. If I'm going to err in my life on one side, I'm going to rather err on the side of being grateful for what I have versus and not saying that you're indicating this, but I'm just saying it as a point versus maybe what some people may do, which is not focus on gratitude, not be grateful for what they have, and constantly be searching for that next thing or that next level of fulfillment or that next like big thing to where people spend their entire lives doing that.
So what we're doing is we're reconciling gratitude with ambition.
Yeah.
There's laws of this universe, okay? The law of attraction is only one.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm going to do a series on that pretty soon. I mean, there's
I love when Tiffany commits, because when Tiffany commits, it happens. I'm pumped for this series.
I just want to say something really quick, because I've been in a complacent state lately. This week has just been like, I don't know if it's because I was PMSing and just really emotional or whatever. Nothing in my life is wrong physically or outside or whatever. I just felt really kind of lost. And I just wrapped up my 30-day revamp for a strategic growth series. And I'm like, what the heck? Like, I should be like on top of the world right now. You know, it's because I was having expectations the wrong way. And also I was still able, I mean, I don't know, Adam, if you saw the funny blonde video I did the other night where
I don't know if I caught that one.
one of my friends was like, you know, just get silly. Because I literally had video block. I didn't make a video for like 5 days. And, and that's not like me.
Yeah, no way.
Kind of like, I'm like, oh my gosh, here I am, like, co-host with Adam of the Gratitude Show. And I'm in a complacency state. Like, what the heck is going on? But I needed to be in that state, because sometimes let's just I'll be honest. Not everything is perfect. Not everything goes the perfect way. We can try and track that to the best of our ability, but the reality is nothing's perfect. There has to be a balance. There has to be, we wouldn't appreciate the stuff that's good if there wasn't the bad. The good, the bad, the ugly, the beautiful, everything. And so I had to remind myself to, like, hey, Tiff, what you're going through is completely normal because, you know, I'm an overachiever, a perfectionist, which is one of my challenges and one of my weaknesses. And I'm just like, you know what? Just be. It's okay. Have a crappy day today. Go ahead, do it, but don't stay there. You know, I'm still reminding myself everything I'm grateful for, but I'm not using that as an excuse to just be in my shish. You know, it's like, no, I'm having a crappy day and I'm going to have this crappy day and get over it and feel all the feelings that it entails of. But I'm going to move on. I'm not going to stay stuck there. But if you don't do that and allow yourself to feel it and to go through those emotions, then you're going to stuff feelings and it's going to come out in different ways.
Absolutely.
There's a difference between like, and I was grateful for that process afterwards. During, I was like, you know, but I know from experience and from, you know, 12, 13 years of studying this, that you can't, your emotions are the first thing that are the most important. That's like having gratitude. You can't just say, oh, thanks, I'm grateful for this and that. And that. No, you need to be like, I'm grateful. I'm so grateful for this and that. And, you know, it has to come from your heart and it has to be an emotional thing because your emotions are what activate the frequencies that you vibrate on, you know, and grateful is, there's the frequency of love and the frequency of fear. Like grateful is like right underneath love and love is the highest. So when you're vibrating and really feeling that gratitude, that brings more of that which you're being thankful for. That's why I love the gratitude show. And people don't really know this and they need to know it. You know, there's not enough people that know it so that they can spread the gratitude. You
got to feel it, otherwise it's just words.
Absolutely. And that's, I mean, when I first started this anyways, but like more people need to get this and like not only get it, but do what we're doing too. They need to have their own gratitude show. We don't care if you tune into us. Okay, great. Yeah, we do because we want you to learn, but go do your own gratitude show too. You know, that's what would make us happy. You know, like
back to what how Tom started us off with, it's a muscle. So it takes time. And so if you're starting with just saying it, start with just saying it, even if you don't feel with it. It doesn't matter. Even if I disagree with, not saying either of you said this, but I've heard some people say, you know, if it's a rote routine, you know, and on The Secret and all this, which me and Tiffany watch religiously. But for me, it's like, if it's a rote routine, at least do that routine. At some point, if something might click in your brain, you might see, not saying you have to see this, but you might see a car accident or something that just triggers something that in you to where it's like, wow, I've been saying I'm grateful for my life all this time. I just seen X, Y, Z. Whoa, I am actually really grateful, to where you have that goosebump in the back of your neck moment to where it all just becomes real. We've all had them before, you know, but get into at least just the habit of doing it.
Okay, so that brings up something else I wanted to talk about. And how often do we read about or even say, at least I'm not that person? You know, be grateful because other people have worse problems than you.
Sure.
You know, someone out there doesn't have a meal tonight. Someone doesn't have a roof over their head tonight. And so we can kind of say those things and make ourselves feel that, okay, yeah. But what do you say to that person who doesn't have a roof over their head? I work downtown. I see homelessness. I see drug addiction. I see mental illness. I walk by it every day.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm not that person. But
everybody's on their own journey. Though when I see that stuff, Tom, it hurts my heart a little bit. But at the same time, if I can do something to make it better, I will. But I just have to keep in mind, everybody's on their own learning lesson, on their own journey, at their own time.
Yeah.
Same with us. I mean, we're all like things. There's alignment. There's time alignment, and time is really just an illusion. It's only how our brains can understand this concept that we call time, anyway. So how you're asking.
I think part of that's just has been something that we've been programmed with. It's been kind of it's kind of perverted or twisted our mind, I would say. And the reason I would say that is because the key word, the way you're saying, and the normal thing that we're programmed with in that moment is the word guilt. Like sometimes some people cross-reference somebody being in a bad situation for feeling guilty or ashamed of themselves because they're in a better situation, maybe. Not saying that was you, but sometimes I think that's the natural instinct at this point, and that's through things like what we've been programmed with through media and other things for, you know, since we've been children raised up. I mean, the bottom line is that if you're living your life to where you feel you're putting out your best and your best good. So for example, your website and also your project and your kind of new path of creating these stories, who's to say that you know, doing that doesn't change or start a movement that of somebody that had something that had to do with homelessness that now changes a whole generation. We don't really know how all of that is going to play out. So the whole idea is that we put out our best work in our best that we can. And in doing that, we attract great people to us, great experiences. And that's not something that we need to feel guilty about, as long as we're correct and okay with what we're doing. Now, if you're calling, now I'm not saying that if your calling is to, you know, volunteer and help homeless, then a lot of people have that calling. And if that resonates, then, and the people that go in that direction, I love it. I mean, I'm all for it, but that's their feel, in my opinion, where I personally don't feel like that's my number one gift at the moment. This may change, but at the moment to where I'm supposed to be doing.
Well, what I'm getting at, I guess the thesis I'm trying to make here, state here, is that for me to really feel gratitude, pure gratitude, I don't want to be on the shoulders of somebody else who maybe has less reason for gratitude. I'd rather have it be intrinsic than extrinsic.
I agree, and that's a more pure form of gratitude. I completely agree.
Right. So when it came to like my beating heart situation,
yep,
that was intrinsic. Not like, okay, I'm not that guy over there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So and then a moment ago, you brought the word fulfillment. So I'm gonna channel some Tony Robbins for you here.
Do it. Come on.
Right. So Tony put up on the screen a picture of Robin Williams. And then he said to everybody, who in this room loves Robin Williams? Not like loves Robin Williams. And everybody in the room had their hands up, myself included.
Yeah, I'll put it up. I'll bite. I do.
Yeah, you know, he made millions of people happy with his films and with his work. Yeah. He lifts everybody up, but often the people who are like the biggest clowns are actually, you know, broken inside.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to qualify this a little because Robin had physical problems. He had Parkinson's, he had dementia, he had issues, but he also had lifetime depression. And so Tony's point about talking about Robin Williams is that this is a person who made everybody happy. Everybody loved him, but he didn't love himself. And he was saying that success without fulfillment is the ultimate failure. Just let that sink. Success without fulfillment is the ultimate failure. So this guy had everything. He had the world at his fingertips, but he wasn't fulfilled. And so therefore he was miserable. And so Tony's roadmap for fulfillment is you want growth and you want giving in your life. So if you're growing and you're giving back, that makes you feel fulfilled. Because I'm sure we all know a lot of people who have a lot of material wealth who are just miserable human beings.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, that can happen.
Yeah. So
I'm tweeting that, by the way, right now. Success without fulfillment is, what was the end of that?
Ultimate failure.
Success without. Sorry, continue.
And thank you all for your comments. I have to go read it because I don't have my glasses on. Matt, thank you for commenting. Shane, what's up? Love you. Shane the train, whoop whoop. Dino, thank you for coming on, sweetie. Love you. Matt, thank you. Dave, thanks for coming on. Aunt Me, Mary Thompson, Gail, all you guys, thank you so much. Is there anybody that has a question for Tom? If you do, type it in because we've got 9 more minutes.
Okay, then I
Bruce Carter, thank you. Sorry, go ahead.
I need to hear some more stuff here.
Oh, Bruce.
So another thing to be grateful for, that I'm grateful for, is the struggle. I'm grateful for the hardships, the failures, the days where we have the funk. Be grateful for that too, because you find your way out of it. And so the struggle makes you grow. And as we just talked about, growing makes you feel fulfilled. That's absolutely true. So don't let your struggles get you down. The struggles are catalysts for growth, because no one grows when they're in their comfort zone. When everything's going great, you're not growing really. You grow through struggle. So the hardship that you have, you want to be growing from that. So I got one more gratitude point I want to make, and that is, when I started this project, I understood intellectually that it's much bigger than me. This isn't about me or my ego. It's about you and your life and your story and your heirs who are going to hear your story. And so intellectually, all along, I understood the gravity of that. But up until last night, I didn't understand it emotionally. And so Dave and Nicole were having a talk off record after Nicole's interview about, I don't know if the magnitude of what Tom's doing really hit it. And I was like, what are you talking about? Of course it has. And so last night, it hit me like an anvil in my face. The timing, the night before I did the show was kind of crazy. But so I recently became acquainted with somebody through this wonderful network. And we friended each other on Facebook. We had some nice interactions. And then he goes to my business page and he's, hitting like, and I'm loving that. And then he leaves a comment saying, I want you to report my story.
Wow.
Yes, awesome, wonderful. It'd be an honor to report your story. And then he posts a link on my webpage saying, well, here's a summary of my childhood. I want you to read this. And so having not read it yet, I typed in, oh, great. So you've already preserved your story. Great. That's going to make it easier for us. That's great. You did that. Here's what I'm going to do for you. And they wrote back saying, please read this. I thought, oh, okay, he's serious. So that night, I'm so glad I didn't read this at home. That night, I went home and I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to read this now. And so I'm reading this guy's story. I won't get specific. He put it up on Facebook, so it's not really confidential, but I'm not going to get too deep into it. But I'm reading this man's story, and he's talking in the first person out of a 2-year-old's mouth. And I didn't really quite comprehend what I was reading, but this 2-year-old was talking about the child abuse he was suffering. And then the 2-year-old talks about how I was then taken out of my abusive house and put into a foster house. And I was beaten. And then she killed me. And I fell out of my crib into my brother's arms. Shit, I'm lying. So, and then it switches to first person. And the brother who caught his younger brother is the person who wants to hire me.
Wow.
Younger brother died in his arms.
Oh, no.
And then he spent his life trying to piece it together to figure out how he and his brother ended up in this foster home with this abusive woman. And this woman was never prosecuted. She was never charged. And so he was just trying to piece it together. And so there's a YouTube link. I saw like a video about this guy's story. And my wife was in the shower and it hit me like a truck. My wife comes out and I'm a wreck. My eyes are all red. I'm doing better now because I've had 24 hours to process this. But what hit me was, this is real. These are people's lives. It's not all roses. People have had issues. People have been abused. And we're going to go into some dark places. And I can't control where it's going to go. I'm just a midwife. And I'm going to try to lead them out. I'll try to be a light, and I'll try to, show them how this is positive. You came out stronger. I'll do what I can. But what really hit me was that this man chose me to record this story. This is way heavier than anything I thought I was buying into. And I'm so grateful that this man saw something in me and entrusted me to preserve his story. And I want to do right by him. So last night, I feel like it clicked emotionally, the magnitude of what I'm doing here. So that had a big effect on me.
Wow.
I got through that. Okay.
I appreciate you sharing that. Brings it all together. This could get intense. And if you want to hire me to help put your story out, and you've had some demons and a horrible childhood, I'm going to be there with you, and I'm going to go there with you, and we're going to do this. Hopefully we come out on the other end stronger for it.
I'm doing mine this month, so.
That's awesome. I'm so excited to see your work.
So Tiffany and I are getting together next weekend, and I'm going to record her story. But unlike, the platforms we're seeing here on Facebook, this is not live. It's not for public consumption.
Of course.
And then, Tiffany's going to share what she wants to share of it. So looks like we're coming close to the end of time, so we timed it perfect because I'm going to channel Tony once again first, okay?
Do it, channel it.
Okay, so at this seminar, Tony was talking about raising your vibrations because it makes you more attractive to people.
Yeah.
And then you can influence people when they're attracted to you. And you have more of a connection with them, and you raise your energy level. And so he put this graphic up on the screen. It's on my Instagram. I'm going to blog about it later. Maybe what I'll do is I'll write in the thread here afterwards, and I'll put a picture up.
What's your Instagram so people can check it out?
Okay, so he put this picture up showing brain waves and heart waves. And so when you're in a state of frustration and you're suffering, your brain waves and your heart waves aren't aligned. And I know that firsthand. There have been times where I'm in deposition and opposing counsel is being a butthead and I get mad.
Mm-hmm.
I can't ask a straight question because I'm mad, I'm emotional, I'm compromised, you know? And so I was like, yeah, okay, I agree with that. And then the bottom half of the photo showed, and these are EKGs that they're showing, brain and heart waves in perfect alignment.
Wow. When
the person is in a state of gratitude. So I was watching that going, yeah, that makes sense. So when you're in a state of gratitude, your heart and your brain are aligned. Mm. And I'm getting goosebumps right now just talking about this. And so Tony did an exercise. Yeah, I know. Tony did an exercise with 16,000 of us. And I'm going to show you guys how to do it now. I don't have Tony's power yet, but I'm going to show you guys what he did with us. If you guys want to do it now in real time, do it. Or do it at home. Do it before you go to bed. Do it when you wake up. I mean, go to bed in this state or wake up and do this first thing in the morning. So what he had us do is they turned down the lights. They put on some soothing music. And Tony had us put our hands on our heart. Just feel your heartbeat. And so you focus on your heartbeat and you're not thinking. And then you start deep breathing. And he had us all close our eyes. So there's 16,000 people, hands over their hearts, deep breathing. And Tony said, I want you to think about something in your life, something really important that you're grateful for. And so I'm thinking, what am I grateful for? And then my mind went to, I'm in the 5th grade. I won the spelling bee at my school. I ousted a 6th grader and I won the spelling bee. The entire student body stood up and cheered for me. And I've never felt like that again in my life. And so I'm there thinking about that. I was like, wow, yeah. And I'm feeling calm. I'm feeling centered. I'm feeling focused. And he said, okay, now think of another memory later in your life that you're grateful for. I'm like, okay. All of a sudden, wedding day. I'm on my wedding day. We got married on Mission Bay at a hotel called the Dana. And we're out there on the grass. All our friends and family are there. And I was so scared that I was going to break down blubbering during our vows. So what I did was I locked in on my wife's eyes. And she's got these deep blue eyes. And so I was so scared because it's my wedding day. I just locked on my wife's eyes. And so tractor beams going both ways. And the pastor even made a comment. He's like, wow, you two are really focused on each other. And so in that moment, I'm deep breathing. And I'm just thinking about my wife's blue eyes. And I felt totally calm and happy and grateful. She chose me. You know, she chose me. She committed to me. And so that's what I took out of the Tony Robbins seminar, was how to center myself and align my heart and my brain. So, you know, if I can help people do that through the Eternal Roots process, that's one way I can bring value. I hope all of you can get some value from that. I know I'm yapping at you, so you probably can't focus on what you're really grateful for, but do this exercise. Put your hand over your heart, turn off the lights, deep breathe, think about what you're really profoundly grateful for. Don't think about the great meal you had. Think about what you're really grateful for and let it flow through you and see how you feel.
Oh, love it, love it, love it. I love the exercise and love that you shared and channeled what you went through and your stories. Big difference. Love it.
Next to him, I can literally feel his energy, you guys. Like this is real life stuff.
That's awesome.
I can really feel. I almost got emotional when he was getting emotional. I feel it. It's real. And thank you so much, Tom, for coming on our show.
Absolutely.
For having you.
Oh yes, good job.
So is there any comments that we need to respond to really quick, Adam?
Let's check it out. Mary, thank you for sharing. Says, thank you. This has helped me to realize that I should be grateful for the short time I had with my mom prior to her passing. Thank you so much. You have no idea how much this means to me. Matt just did it and feel great. Thank you. Bruce, great to have you, Bruce. Yep, I could feel that when I was driving. That's awesome. So just to know, Tom, you're changing lives, you are teaching, you're passing, you're spreading the good energy, all wonderful stuff. Tiffany, do you want to close for us?
I do, and thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in and everybody for watching the replay. Excuse me. Next week we have Dave Daly. Don't miss out. If you do, definitely watch the replay because Dave Daly is rocking this world. And
yeah, it's gonna be great. Dave brings it. Yeah.
So thank you all for tuning in. We'll be live again next Thursday at 7 p.m. Pacific time, right here on Facebook or on Smiletime. And Adam, thank you as always. Tom, thanks for being on the show. And thanks for everybody else watching. We'll see you next Thursday at 7 p.m.
Take care. Bye.